Remember, it takes a few seconds.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Me and Lucy at my house together. Live. So welcome back for a Friday show. Lucy came out here to Vegas to visit her mother, who happens to live up the road from me. So she decided to come over here and do a YouTube live at my house. So that's kind of fun because she's never ever been to my house until today.
I know.
First time ever of all the years we've known each other, all the time she's come out here, an ASD show, she's never been over here. So welcome this morning, and hey, good morning, Reno. Today we're actually going to be talking about PPC campaigns based off of last Friday's show. We talked about setting up your PPC campaigns, especially going into Q4. Some of you have never done that before. You really are not sure how. A favorite one is the catch-all campaign, where you just kind of put all of your ASINs into one ad campaign with a low pay-per-click bid. If you go asking all of the PPC gurus out there, they would say not to do that. However, in my account, in most accounts, that has always been my best performing ad campaign of all. So, do what works. That's what I say. We can follow all the best advice, but ultimately what produces results is what you should do. But you also should have targeted campaigns for your single ASINs and items that you are wanting to convert and make sales. The catch-all campaign is just like an extra cherry on the top.
All right. Did you want me to go through the two questions we have in our group?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if Kylene is in here now. Kylene asked a question, and this has to do, she asked in the bundles group, which I'm going to share here because I think it's a pretty good general question. She went to go list something, and let's see here, and it said she needed to register her business. And she started the questions: what country is your business in? What type? What options have been applied? Private business. And she gets through, let's see here. I clicked private business and it asked for my business name and exactly how it appears on government documents. I entered that and the wheel turned forever. It never goes to the next screen. So I refresh and now I'm getting an error saying I haven't completed. I go to my laptop, log in, and the message isn't there, and I'm able to do everything as normal. So that's a really weird one. I don't know if it's spun around and actually submitted the documents, and now you're just waiting. But once you do the business registration, I did this 2 days ago with somebody, it will take anywhere from, he got approved in, it felt like 20 minutes. It might have been an hour, up to, they say, 2 or 3 days. So if you're doing that business registration, it's really important that whatever name and address you have going on, it matches whatever document you're doing. So in the case of the guy that I was helping, he had a business in a warehouse. So the bank statement and business information needed to match that address. But as far as primary user, which was going to be him, and he uploaded his driver's license, that address needed to match the address that he was putting in. So the driver's license matched his personal address, and the business information matched the business address. And then we got to, it was kind of weird because he got to the page where you don't see that. You have to have, there's like a little arrow that you have to drop down, and it wasn't quite intuitive. And then once we submitted that, it did spin for a long time. So my guess is that she spun and it did submit. I have that happen a lot when I'm saving drafts, that it spins around and then sometimes it just bonkers out.
Amazon's been very glitchy and weird lately.
Very
what
weird.
Was your next one?
Next one was April, who I know you commented on this too. She has some bundles and she noticed that she had a restricted product policy violation and it was marked as inactive. So my question to April was, I don't have enough information. Like, where is it marked this? Did you get an email or are you seeing it on your inventory? If you look at your inventory and on the left, it says suppressed, inactive, violation, whatever, then something's going on with it and you may or may not see it in your account health. If you get an email about it, 9 times out of 10, my emails, because my stuff is in US, but I'm also in the NARF program and it's in Canada, it's for Canada or Mexico that I'm getting a policy violation, and I got to go in and see what it is. But you're not going to see it on your American account health dashboard. You got to log into your Canadian or your Mexican account to then see that violation and what it is and what they're upset about. Now, it could be compliance paperwork too, because toy compliance paperwork will show up as a policy violation, but not under policy violation sometimes. So the other weird thing is I had this happen yesterday where it was saying violation, but it wasn't on the account dashboard at all. And Amazon's really, really glitchy. I cannot stress that enough. I had to go in and edit the item and then kind of guesstimate what's going on. I will copy and paste the title or the general keywords and paste them over to Word and do a character count, because titles can only be 150 characters. And if you have 151 or more, you're going to get a suppressed listing or a violation or whatever, and it's not going to show up anywhere. You just got to kind of go and shorten your title, or it looks really weird. The other one it could be is a pricing violation. And Amazon's been really wonky about these. They're pinging all sorts of other websites and then saying that your pricing is out of whack. And sometimes it's stupid.
Yeah, Walmart and Amazon both do that with the pricing.
It's
like, and yet they tell us that we can't do price collusion, but that's what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I had one that was a price issue in Canada, and I'm going, we're matching our Build International listings is matching the US and just converting for currency difference. And it's saying there's a pricing issue. And I'm going, he's not in any other Canadian website. So.
All right. Well, what we're here for today is PPC. So let's jump into that. Now, there's a couple of screens I passed up. I'm in a client's account for to be able to screen share a little bit. So the part I'm skipping over is how to get to where I'm at. So because I don't want to be like completely in his account, right? So when you are in your Amazon account and you go to your campaign dashboard, most all of us are always going to click on the option that says sponsored campaigns to get to our campaign manager. And once you get there, at the very top, it wants you to title your campaign. It auto-populates in like the day's date and time, some garbly-gook. I personally like to name my campaigns. Now, a lot of the PPC gurus out there, they want you to title your campaigns like very strategically, putting in the ASIN. If it's a targeted keyword, they do like TKW, they have code. I keep mine super basic. I don't do that. That even confuses my brain. So if you're someone that thinks like me, I will target things like if it's, baby pacifiers, I might have baby pacifiers broad, baby pacifier loose match, baby pacifier exact, meaning like loose match phrase, exact match phrase, but broad, because some accounts maybe have a lot of different products. And I want to know exactly which ones I'm dealing with. Oh yeah, the baby pacifiers, because that's just easier for me. So you do whatever works for you. So now I'm going to screen share, and we are going to look at now the back end of the setting up your PPC and some things that I look for. So now we are to that section. Up at the top, which we don't see, is naming your campaign. This second box, which is also hidden, is selecting your product. So you can go through your account and either pick a specific ASIN that you just aren't moving. And so you want to only target that one. If you have ASINs that kind of go together, like maybe you sell dog doors and you have 3 different styles of dog doors that go in a sliding glass door, and they're very similar products, you can group all of those together. It will do things that make sense. group some sunglasses together, group baby, baby clothes together. So you can do individual ASINs, you can do some groupings. Maybe you have a listing that's variations. Maybe you are selling a glass water bottle and the lid is red, one is blue, one is orange. It's a variation. You want to put all those in an ad campaign. Select those products and they'll populate on this other side. All right, so getting that part out of the way, our next box, it says targeting. And there's only two options, automatic targeting and manual. Automatic targeting is exactly what it tells you underneath, is Amazon will target keywords and products that are similar to the product in your ad. Automatic targeting is a great campaign to do. Giving Amazon control is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, these campaigns usually cost me less money. But what is important is our next box, the automatic targeting box. I do not ever do this set a default bid. I always do set bids by targeting group. Always, I do that. And these are the targeting groups. Now, this is where it comes in to where I said you would title your campaign dog door close match. And you could do dog door auto close match, dog door auto loose match. I generally like to split all four of these up into separate ad campaigns. But a lot of times when I'm just starting it, I will group them all together because one will often get more sales than another. Amazon gives you a suggested bid, 77 cents, and a range down below. I always start off with the lowest end. So in this case, I would put in the 56 cents. I always go on the low side. Amazon will spend your money. Whether you tell them to spend 56 cents or 77 cents, they are going to spend your money. I will let this run for an entire week. And then I will go in to the ad once it's up and running, and I will either increase this bid or lower it based on the amount of clicks and sales that I get. A lot of times Amazon's range might be 56 to 97 cents, and I will be getting a lot of clicks at 56 cents and producing some sales, but my cost of what I'm spending on clicks versus getting sales is maybe too high. And maybe I'm getting a lot of clicks at 56 cents. I will lower it down to 50 cents and I will watch that for a week. If I'm still getting clicks and still making sales, I may continue to lower it by a few cents at a time as long as I'm still making sales.
So that's a good question. I get that a lot. What is your go-to for adding and lowering? Because I've been as extreme as taking it from 56 and going down by half and doing somewhere around 25 cents. And I've done by a nickel.
I've done the same. I've done the same. It really depends on how many clicks I'm getting. At 56 cents, if I got, let's say in that week, 112 clicks, my ad is really being seen and people are really clicking on it. I maybe am winning the bid. The way bids work is it's like an auction. Mm-hmm. So if you are also bidding on that same close match and so am I, and I have 56 cents and you are at 46 cents and it's a highly competitive time, the highest bidder sometimes will win that favoritism by Amazon and get the click. So it really just depends how many clicks I'm getting. And if I'm spending, let's say $100 that week, but only made 100 in sales, I'm wasting money. So I'm going to lower it. And then down here, you can add negative keywords. In the beginning, you're not going to know your negative keywords. On this particular account that I'm in, one keyword that he was getting a lot of spend on was the word yoga, because it's an exercise item. And his item is not a yoga-driven item. So I came back in later and I put in the word yoga. And then you can type that in here, yoga. Once you know, in the beginning, you can't know. And I will add that word yoga in here as a negative word. And you can add it as an exact word or a phrase. And I could add yoga in here again as a phrase match. And the reason why we would do this is we're telling Amazon, do not spend any more money on the word yoga as an exact word or even in a phrase like yoga pants, yoga workout, yoga, that's yoga in a phrase. And that way you can reduce cost on your ad by putting in words that are not relevant.
Hold on. So I understood that differently. If you go back up, my understanding was negative exact means that yoga anywhere in the search terms was going to be negatively not showing your
That's
item.
right.
However, let's say you're doing a yoga towel and you keep getting hit for yoga mat, you would do yoga
Mat as the phrase.
That's
right.
To make sure that you don't get that, but
you would probably be yoga mat as the exact, because
I'm just saying in this scenario, this
Yeah.
exact scenario, it's redundant.
Yeah.
But in other scenarios, it's more okay.
And when we get down to this area, generally, if it's a new launch, you want to use fixed bids. Once you're seasoned, once your campaign is seasoned, it's doing good, you've had it running for a few months, you're getting consistent sales, I come back and I change my bidding strategy to dynamic bids down. Also, in the beginning, I don't add any extra percentage to my spend for any of these areas. You're automatically going to be able to see what your visibility and your clicks are on the first page, rest of search, at a later date once your ad has been running. Once it's seasoned and you are getting clicks and you can see you're getting most of them in rest of search or product pages, you can increase this because you know where to target your money. In this bottom box, I rename my campaign what I had it named in the very top box, and I set a daily budget. Now, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second because I want to go into an actual ad where we can look at, actual data. So all of that, what I just did, will make sense. And now this was an auto campaign. We can also do keyword targeting. That was the other option that I didn't show you because we could spend hours talking about ad campaigns. So I want to do year to date here. And I'm going to pick one that got a lot of clicks. And so we have data to work from.
I'm going to guess you didn't start with the naming conventions.
I did not. Yeah, see, like you can see mine, yes. Right? Because that makes sense, right? Yes. Yeah, mine makes sense. All right, so we're going to choose this.
I'll get into people's accounts and I'm like, what were you doing?
Yes. I can't, I'm just trying to.
Loading. We should. I don't think I can check and see if we have questions on my phone. That's beyond me.
Okay.
But if you guys have questions, go ahead and write them in the comments here, and we'll get to them.
Okay. I'm going to screen share again.
It does say some information at the top of that page. See it? I don't know if you want to share that or not. You can always do a screenshot if you want.
Yeah, I don't know how to do all that on here. Let me go to other ads. Sorry, guys.
Or you could just rename it real quick and then rename it back. It also has up here.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I can't share. I'm just because I'm trying to respect this person's privacy. And there's no way that I can. There's no way that I can go into their account because I didn't get permission, so I don't feel comfortable doing that.
For this right here, though, can you do a screenshot?
I don't know how to do all that on my computer. All right, so I'm going to just give you guys a verbal walkthrough. I'm very sorry. I should have done screenshots before because I didn't realize at the top is this person's store. And so when you are in your campaigns, and perhaps next week we can continue this PPC where I can take screenshots to show you. When you are in your campaigns and you see all of your campaigns, you will click the name of any given campaign. And that takes you into the specifics of that particular ad campaign. And off to the side, you will see ad groups, budget rules, campaign settings, and history. Campaign settings is where you will be able to see whether you got clicks on the, the campaign settings is where you can change your daily budget of your campaign. Where you get most of the meat and potatoes is you click on the name of your ad campaign again. So from the main ad campaign, you click on the name, it opens it up, then you click the name of it again. Because what happens is off to the side, you get words targeting, negative targeting, search term, ad group settings, and history. When you click targeting, it will show you your exact keywords or auto, loose, whatever type of ad campaign you set up, and you will be able to see all of its data.
You want me to try something real quick?
Yeah, you sure can. Yeah, because without showing you guys, it's really hard for me to really break it down. I know that visuals really do help. Lucy's going to help me take some screenshots here.
Just one. So this is what I do when I'm like, I want to share, but I can't share,
Can you get that side?
Yes.
Just bear with us a second, guys, because I really want you guys to see this.
So then you just share this either screen or I'm not sure how to share that on. Go back to that. See if you can share that window. No.
I cannot.
Okay. Hit share entire screen.
But then
that one's fine, yeah. And then click us and then bring it up. It'll spasm out a little bit. Now bring us up.
I'm gonna let Lucy do it.
That.
Okay.
There we go.
So I'm in this person's ad campaign. And this is what I'm talking about. So once you've clicked on the name, you click on it again. I've now hit targeting. These are the words that come up on the side. What we are targeting are these particular keywords. You see Amazon's suggested bid here and where we are currently at. So we are above the lowest on these, but we're not at the highest. Sometimes I've been in accounts and they don't see all of these options right here. How you can pull up the data you want to see is you click here where it says columns, and it will open up a little window where you can choose the things you want to be able to see. And you can also hide the things you don't want to see. These are the things I like to see, and that's why they're visible. I want to see my keyword bid so I can adjust it. I want to see where I'm at in the top of the search. And I want to see the impressions so I know if I'm getting enough visibility for this word. Impressions equal visibility. So it doesn't mean someone's clicked your ad. It just means it's been visible to them on a page. And this is how many times it's been visible. This is the viewable impressions. So that means somebody, has definitely seen this. And this is how many clicks that you've gotten on these particular keywords. So you can see his top keyword here at $1.42 got 163 clicks, and his average cost per click was $1.45. This is how much we spent. This is how many orders we got. This is the sales that was produced from that and our ACOS. I try to keep ACOS at 10% at the account level. And that means orders here on ads plus orders organically. When you're getting impressions and you're getting clicks, sometimes people are clicking on your listing on the same page, but not the one that's a sponsored ad. So if I'm scrolling on page 1 of Amazon after I typed in a keyword, this ad might have shown up on the top of the search. But you will see, because you're paying for ads, and you can do this for your own account, you will see your listing on page 1 further down without the word sponsored underneath it. The person might have clicked your non-sponsored ad, and you're then going to get an organic sale there. So at the end of the month, I will look at all of my orders for a single ASIN and do the math with my ad spend. And I know this is getting probably a little too deep, but overall, I'd like to keep that ACOS at 10%. This ACOS here is on the high side, even for ads for my liking, but this has been a very difficult account. Now, when we talked about the negative keywords, this is where you can click on this right here and add them here later. But where the real magic is at is search terms. When we click on search terms, and I'll take another screenshot or have Lucy take a screenshot here in a minute while I talk, is you can go ahead and I'm going to click in search terms.
You're
here.
sharing now.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you do that?
Because I hit stop
you hit
sharing.
share. Okay.
And so here are search terms. So this is what you can take a screenshot of.
Okay.
So
you're sorted by orders. Is that good?
yeah, that's fine. So what I do is I then click on search terms on any ad that you are running. You can then look at your search terms, whether it's your all SKU campaign or if you're doing a targeting campaign, all of them have this availability. And then what I like to do is at the end of the month, go through the search terms, and I will like to see what words were getting clicked. So Amazon gives us this data right here. So this is obviously a workout item for doing squats. This is exactly what people typed into Amazon's search bar. This is the keyword that we were targeting. So those 3 keywords we had, squat wedge was one of them. And we also have elevated squat wedge and workout wedge because these have been the best performing. So because they are a phrase, as long as this word squat wedge is in the phrase, which in this case, the customer typed in adjustable squat wedge, his listing showed up. This got 2 clicks. This is what he spent, and he got an order. And then here's our ACOS on each one of those. This phrase, customer search term, squat wedges weightlifting, got us 8 clicks. So you can sort your and got one order out of those 8 clicks, and that's why the ACOS was high because he spent $10 to get that one order.
So that's one where you sit back and you think, okay, do you want to negative out squat wedge for weightlifting or weightlifting altogether? Does weightlifting go with said item? And if it doesn't really make sense, then put it in the negative keywords. If it kind of makes sense, leave it be, see how it performs in a little bit. Yeah. And these key phrases that you can pull for this type of campaign, I usually get them from my auto campaigns. I see what's being clicked on the most. Mm-hmm. And let's say in your auto campaign, adjustable squat wedge is the most searched, the most clicked on, most whatever, then that's what you're going to pull over to these guys and then make targeted.
Right. And it looks like squat wedge is getting the most action. We're down here at exercise wedge. It's getting spend, but it's really not converting to sales. So I may now decide to take exercise wedge out of the equation and save this guy some money. So that is the type of stuff that it takes to analyze. You have to,
You closed before I was ready.
Oh, sorry. We can share it again here.
No, it's already gone.
Oh,
it's okay.
Okay.
I was just going to say that there's an export button up at the top right. You can export these words into a document, and I'll usually export them, or I try to. I'm not as good as I say I am here, but I'll try to export them. You always say we should do all these things. There's only so many hours in the week. So if you're ever watching YouTube videos and you're like, oh my God, I got all these things to do. Yes, you do. However, to be honest, not everybody is amazing at doing all the things. Okay, but you can export all of those words and then go in and add them to your SEO search. So you may want to add them into the back end, like take that weightlifting. If you didn't have weightlifting in your whatever title, description, bullet points, back end, you may want to go add those words into it. So
yeah, and that's where this seems so confusing in the beginning, and that's why I'm trying to dumb it down and not get too deep. But these were the things that really changed doing pay-per-click for me, was clicking on each individual campaign and really going over to that search term. You can download search term reports, just like Lucy said, and put it into a Google sheet and analyze it that way, where you can sort it on your own. And Armand is asking, what should your target ACOS be? I really, really strive for 10%. If I get to 15%, I don't lose sleep over it, because again, I'm looking at the account as a whole and how much I'm spending on advertising, because I've taken over so many people's ad campaign accounts for them because they've just struggled or not understood. And I will take the best of what they've already done, because it's not all a loss. If you've lost money, not all of your old campaigns are a loss. We can turn some of them back on and just take out all that bad stuff and keep all that good stuff that is working. And if you just go in here even once a week and check your ads, you can really see what are the right keywords for any given ad that you are running. And likewise, what words are bad. And just tell Amazon, don't spend money on this word anymore. I don't want anybody clicking because they type in this word. And
you can do that for products too. So in Christmas time, I'll have usually a lot of Squishmallows, and Amazon loves to spend money on Squishmallows. So I'll go in and I'll negative them out or don't add them to my campaigns because then all of a sudden all my budget is blown on Squishmallows or whatever. They liked Bath and Body Works a lot too.
So now I want to go back. I'm going to screen share again in a minute because I want to go back to the beginning as if we're making a campaign and talk about some of the other campaigns you can do. So that was just doing like an auto campaign and then how to check your keywords. So I'm going to screen share here again.
Now Tina likes to do ACoS. I kind of grew up on ROAS, and they're pretty similar.
They go hand in hand.
They're like the same. It's just inversely.
Yeah.
So ROAS, I like to aim for a 3 because that means for every dollar I'm spending, I'm getting 3 in sales. So,
and you can look at them both for sure. Absolutely, they do go hand in hand. So the other option is doing manual targeting. So manual targeting allows you to target keywords. Like the last ad that we just looked at, we were targeting 3 different keywords. Sorry for that. I'm always fidgety. We were targeting 3 keywords on that particular ad campaign. I do want to mention you never want to put more than 10 keywords in an ad campaign. So if you are able to grab, say, 30 great keywords for a particular ASIN, make 3 different ad campaigns, dividing those 30 into 10, 10, and 10. Because what will happen is you're always going to have 2 keywords that outperform the others, and they're going to cannibalize that spend, and the other ones aren't going to get the attention. So you really want to divide them up and never go over 10.
I have gotten into people's accounts and they have like 200 keywords, and I'm going, oh my God.
Yeah. So on manual targeting, you can either keyword target or you can product target. Now, what's awesome on this, you guys, is keyword targeting. Now, as you know, sometimes Amazon, if you create listings, as you know, Amazon will not let us use competitors' trademark words in our listing, like Disney, Ray-Ban, Nike, things like that. But your product might be relevant to that brand or very similar to that brand. Like, for instance, this is like a Lego, but it's not Lego. And so I may want to target the keyword Lego. This is where you don't get in trouble by using a competitor's name, and you don't have to worry about an IP claim. In ad campaigns, you can target a competitor's keyword. You can target Lego. You can target the word Nike, and you can have your ads show up for those keywords. So if you didn't know that, now you do. Another thing is we can do product targeting. That's where we can choose competitors' products. So if you have a toy that's like Lego, but not Lego, and maybe your item is, a not Lego ship, you can go down and you can choose individual products. You can click search products, and I can type in Lego ship, and it will pull it, and I can add these things. I can add them over here, and I can target my very similar non-Lego toy against this Lego product. Now, what happens when a shopper is looking at this Lego listing, and all of you go on Amazon and you see those suggested products below this listing on the same page, like other customers also bought or other customers liked, your listing can show up on this Lego listing, and you may be able to hijack a sale from there, especially if your item is $89 because it's not a Lego brand, but somebody maybe doesn't really care. They might buy your item. So that is one thing you can do. You can also category target. In this case, we're in a weightlifting item, so it's going to suggest balance boards, but I may want to search a category. And so I can come down here and I can category target. So you can choose products you want to target against. You can look at Amazon suggested products that they think you should target against, and you can simply add them. And what happens is when shoppers are looking at these items, your item comes up as a suggested product. Yeah, of course.
If you're seeing me. Two things. April, if you're the April that asked the question in bundles, we answered it at the beginning of the show or inquired more information about it at the beginning of the show. The second thing is if anybody's doing private label out there, any private label item, and you are doing especially private label Alibaba, you've got to use this feature, because if you're selling whatever widget thing and there's 6 other listings that are of that exact item, you've got to go beyond their other page. And that's why you may or may not be making sales. Let's say I'm selling these knockoff Post-its here, and I've got them on Alibaba, and there's 5 other people that have private label listings, and I'm priced at $9.99, but Tina's priced at $7.99, and she's advertising on my page. Everybody's going to come click onto my page, say, oh, $9.99. I can save $2 if I click over here to this other one that's showing. Now all of a sudden the funnel of sales is going over here to Tina, and you're not getting any sales. Seen that a lot of times too.
All right, so I'm going to go back into this our ad campaign, and we're going to jump back up here to keyword targeting. So you can choose to do broad, phrase, and exact. I would never mix all 3 of these up in one campaign. When you're doing a campaign, and that goes back to naming your campaign, I might do an ankle weight item, right? I might type it ankle weight broad match, ankle weight phrase match, to name them so I know which one I'm doing. Generally, you get more sales from broad and phrase. Exact, which seems to make more sense. I generally get less sales. That's just been my experience. So I am going to, in this case, we're going to do a phrase campaign. Now, Amazon is suggesting keywords already for me here because these are suggested. And this is also very good information for you as well. This section right here, this keyword, this is impression share and impression revenue and where you rank. So on this person's exact listing, his impression share is, what is 0.04%? That's not
low.
A lot.
That's low.
And his impression rank is 52. So he does have some kind of rank for this keyword. So we may want to continue to target against it since we're already ranking for it. So I might add that one in. If my item, look, here's that yoga block, right? So if this item was actually a yoga block and my impression share is 0, I'm definitely going to want to add, I'm going to want to advertise for that word because my item maybe is a yoga block. So it's like, wow. Another thing I would need to look at, especially if I created the listing, is yoga block in my listing? Because any word that we're not getting any share for and it totally pertains to our listing, we need to make sure, why isn't this word in our title, in our bullet points, in our back end? Because we definitely want to be ranking for it. If we're not ranking for it and it is in our title, it is in our bullet points, then this tells me that, 1, I haven't been advertising for this keyword. And number 2, it could be that this particular keyword and type of product is very, very flooded on Amazon, and my competition is fierce. And when our competition is fierce, sometimes we spend way too much money on this word getting clicks and not making sales. And that's why we might want to find other keywords that are relevant, but maybe don't use that word. So I hope that does make sense.
That's hip thrust there.
Yeah, well, maybe it makes sense. So
monkey feet? What is monkey feet?
I don't know.
What is monkey? Do I have monkey
But
feet?
hopefully, if you know your product, you would know if these things applied to you or not. And then all of this is still the same. The negative keyword thing is still the same. You're going to want to do fixed bids or dynamic bids down only. And you're going to want to name it again. And you're going to set your daily budget again. For the most part, all of these are just as simple as what I have showed all of you. And like Casey said, don't forget that anyone could hire me directly to do their PPC. I don't advertise that I do this for clients, but I do help people. I know I helped Casey with her ads. I do consultations, helping you set up your ads, teaching you how to do your ads, especially hyper focused on your exact product. And I know that this was a little bit of a quick tutorial just to give you some insight. And I do manage some accounts, their ad campaigns, as well as Lucy too. This is not meant to be an infomercial for that, I promise. I really just want to show you guys how to arm yourselves to effectively run some ad campaigns for your own accounts. It really can be simple. It's just a matter of being diligent and going in there, especially every day in the beginning, to get comfortable with it. And certainly once a week. And for the love of God, once a month. Definitely go in there once a month, and at the end of the month, analyze what did and didn't work in your ad campaigns, and start small and simple. And if you want to put all of your stuff in one campaign, I like to do that simple automatic campaign, choosing all of them, all 4 of those bubbles. Put your ad in there, no more than 20 cents. Definitely 20 cents should be your cap on pay per click on all of those, and then throw every single ASIN you have in your account in that catch-all. And one common question I get, and after that I'll let you say anything, is if it is something like a Yankee candle and I'm selling it, and Lucy, and there's 80 other Amazon sellers on it, and if I'm paying for advertising, am I paying for me and all of them? Like, are they all benefiting from the cost per clicks? And the answer to that is no. Only you are when you have the buy box. So if you're bidding 20 cents on that Yankee candle, and and you got a click and you paid 20 cents on it, it's because you currently were the buy box person, and you would have been the one getting the sale, not some other seller. So don't worry about that at all.
All right. So then I wanted to address SEO in a general sense, because this is the biggest mistake I see people absolutely doing every week. Every week I run into this problem. So what people do is they have a product and they do all the SEO research kind of just for that streamlined product. I'm working on.
They can see you. I'm just switching screens because I don't have 2 monitors.
My brain was functioning. I haven't had enough coffee this morning today. Okay, so I was working on this artwork, and the guy has this new acrylic artwork, and it's like 3D effect. It's really cool. Anyhow, doing the SEO research for Christians, Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and Sikh. Am I saying that right? Sikh. And for Sikhs. So he did a lot of he sent me keywords. He's like, this is the metadata research on the keywords. And I'm going, okay, that's great, but you don't have the ones that are outside that. So let's say we were doing this, I'm going to share your mat here. Let's say we're doing mouse pads and we've got Avengers here, right? Okay. No, this is Dracula, Frankenstein.
It's Halloween time.
Okay. Black Lagoon. Okay. So we've got monsters. You're going to need to do the keyword research for mouse pads. So that's going to be mouse pad, one word. Then you're going to do all of the
horror
films, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now what you got to think of is, what are people buying this for? Office, home office, new job, dorms, kids, goth, anything that birthdays, Christmas, stocking stuffers.
Frankenstein. I would be putting all the characters in there.
You could do Dracula. All the characters too. Then, because it's got some interesting characters here, you may want to do the top misspelled, like Nintendo. If you're doing eBay listings, especially the top, there's like one way of misspelling Nintendo. That's the top way of misspelling Nintendo. So if you ever have any Nintendo items, you want to add that misspelling into here. Same with things like color. I'll put the color with a U, color with an O, because then you're hitting both of that. Same with flavor. Flavor has a U sometimes in it. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think which other ones, because I do cross market. Then I would see, okay, what is mousepad in Spanish? Translate, Google Translate. Translate mousepad into Spanish and add the top 1 or 2 keywords that are in Spanish, because that is the second most researched item, especially if you have things that people that speak Spanish might be looking for. You know, they might not be looking for whatever your product is, but most of the times they are. I can't think of a whole lot of ones. That
Yeah,
they
and this
wouldn't be.
particular mouse pad, your best keywords are going to be the movies that are on it for sure.
Yes.
Number one, because you want to really micro niche it down. I'm going to share my screen again, going just to Amazon as a shopper, so we can look at the front end of what I was talking about on the back end. Okay, so we're going to go over here.
You cannot put COVID in the key. You can't do.
Oh yeah, well I wouldn't.
Keywords.
Yeah. All right, so we are in Amazon and we will use mousepad as the example. So how you can get keywords is when we type in mousepad. As you know, Amazon gives us the most common things that people will type in next.
See, and I would negative keyword out wrist rest, because yours doesn't have a wrist rest. So that'd be a negative keyword that I would jot down.
Yeah. Okay. And so mine might have, I might type in Frankenstein. Ooh, right. And so, because if someone's looking for a mouse pad with Frankenstein on it, obviously that's what they're wanting to see. Now, nobody is advertising this because I don't see sponsored under any of these. Oh. So that's a little surprising.
Wait, what was that cat one?
Looks like a cat paw. So I'm going to go back just to mouse pad. Since we're using this as the example, because certainly people are advertising. You see sponsored right here. That means these people are paying to have their ad here. And so maybe mine happened to be a pink one with a wrist pad. And sorry, person, for clicking your ad and making you pay for this. What will happen is if somebody clicked their ad, and down below, sorry with all the tools, guys, down below, here are some suggested products. This person is paying to be here. Well, you may be paying to be here if I was targeting this mouse pad. Remember in the back end where I said we can target other people's products? Maybe this is my mouse pad. It's similar to this one. So I am paying to target them. And now me going back with as a shopper, I might go, ooh, I like this one better with all these swirls of color, or I like this one. You may also show up down here. So maybe you are selling a stapler or a keyboard, and it complements. And that's where when you have Amazon do auto campaign, the one that's called compliments, that's what this is. A stapler may be complementary to a mouse pad. Yes.
Okay, so the I had just added to my cart that Japanese mouse pad because my son has a Japanese cherry blossom keyboard. Mm-hmm. So that's where you would complement very well.
Yeah. And so Amazon may know that your item complements that mouse pad. And as you can see, we see pink, purple, right? And it goes with it. So you may end up showing up down here. So that is where you would show up on a product page by targeting another listing. Now let's look at that Lego example. Lego flower. Because I'm going to see, are there listings under the name Lego? I have this. Are there listings?
You have that one?
Yeah, I have it. It's built. It's in the other room. If there is a listing that is not actually Lego, look, they're paying to be here. These are mini bricks, artificial flower, but they came up. They're paying to be here. They're paying to be here. This whole row almost is paying to be here, but these are not Lego. And that's where you can target a brand's name keyword to show up when somebody types in Lego flower. These come up and they're more affordable than a Lego. So if I'm somebody who really isn't like super Lego serious, like it doesn't really have to be Lego, then I may be willing to spend less to get something that looks like Lego flowers, right? And save money.
See how they did their keywords? Scroll back up. They've got creative, toys, birthday gift, adults, women, simulation, plant, building, sets. And that's where you got to kind of branch out.
Yeah, because they can't use and look, they sold 50 in the last month. So it shows you can private label and compete against Lego. And it looks like they have a lot of good reviews too, but they're using mini bricks. They're not using Lego. They can't use Lego legally in their listing, but they can target the word Lego in their ad campaign. So I hope that visual of Amazon on the shopping end goes along with what I was showing you on the back end. Now, if I click that person's flower Lego, when they look at their search term report in the back end, they're going to see that me, the shopper, typed in the word Lego flower and bought their item. And if that was the exact phrase that they were targeting, they maybe are making a lot of sales on that. They maybe want to raise or lower their ad spend on that on their back end side. So it is really as simple as that. Things don't have to be as complicated as we make it out to be in our head. It's more discipline of going in there and setting up those ads and looking at your search term and analyzing those reports and negating things that are bad and keeping what's good. And then just keep adjusting your clicks until you hit your sweet spot where you're making sales, but your ACOS and your ROAS are where you are profitable, because it's all about being profitable in the end.
Yes. And you want to work that into your cost of goods and your margins too. Let's say you have $3 of profit per your item. At the beginning, you may want to dedicate $1 to $2 to $3 to get that product launched.
Oh, and another good thing that I forgot to share with you, because Lucy had asked me about this the other day. At one time, she tried to keep a spreadsheet, and it was just too overwhelming, where she was going in. And when you're adjusting bids on multiple ads with multiple search terms, you can have 280 different, items that you're bidding on in one account. And if she would go in there and change it by 2 cents, 5, she was putting all this on a spreadsheet, which is a very time involved task. And when you're in your ad campaign, those things on the side where it said targeting and search terms over to that left side, the very bottom one says history. And if you click history, it tells you the exact date, what keyword you change, and from what to what. So if you can also sort by date ranges. So if we're in the month of October, I can look at last week in October and this week in October. You can change those date ranges. And if I got more sales last week and this week not so many on that one keyword, and I'm like, I bet I changed my bid on it, but I don't remember what I did. All I have to do is go click the history, and it's not going to be that far down. Oh yeah, last week I changed it from 30 to 25 and it really screwed up my sales. I need to bring it back up to 30, right? So you can check your history if you're questioning, why did my sales do better last week than this week? I bet I made changes. Maybe they weren't in my favor.
Yeah, my idea was to have some sort of mass data that would track the flow. Anyhow, it didn't work out. I tried, it didn't work out.
So I really hope you guys will try some ads and let me know how they go. Does anybody have any questions? And did I confuse you more than I helped you?
I got one more thing to say, because I'll have people that say, oh, I launched this product 6 months ago and it's really done nothing. What can I do? Mm-hmm. If you launch something, if you have a new listing, you get like a 30-day window that is highlighted on Amazon. Amazon's going to kind of feature your product, put it out there a little bit more. And if nobody clicks on it, nobody does nothing with it, it's gonna go down the pages as time goes on, because nobody's looking at it, nobody cares. And Amazon's got new things coming in, so they want to highlight the new stuff. So if you're like, well, should I relist it or should I try to build this back up? If it's already at the warehouse as FBA, you're going to have to try and jump it up with advertising. Mm-hmm. But if it's a new product, the easiest thing to do is copy, make a new listing, and then do the advertising as well. So you don't ever want to make something and then let it sit and rot.
Yeah, and if these are items that are already on Amazon, most of them already have good built up rank, and that's why you bought it when you did your research. So advertising on those should be very easy. So please advertise stuff, even if you're not a private label seller.
Yeah, you can advertise anything on there. You don't have to be.
Nate's got ad jokes. Watch your ACOS so Amazon won't kick you in the ROAS.
Pretty much. The other thing I like to watch is how fast your money gets spent. So if you're watching things, and you're like curious, if you only have $5, $10 on there and you have high bids and you're looking at, I don't know, let's say 11 in the morning and it's like out of range, your budget's already out of range, then you've spent all your money already. And I don't know what time workout equipment is the best seller, but most people like get home from work and then buy things or maybe shop late night, you might be missing an entire range. And I think you can set times now. I don't know if we want to go over that, but
you could probably,
you can micro
which I've
down
never
to what
done,
time.
but just now I thought I could help him market his exercise equipment on maybe diet, like, people take the diet supplements to help them lose weight, or the bodybuilding powder protein mix. That maybe is a good idea. I wonder if you'd get sales off of already looking at supplements to help you with your workout.
I don't know. And
I've never tried that.
we like to put in, yeah, but you could do the times. So if you know that everybody works out or buys workout equipment from, I don't know, 6 to 10 in the morning is your sweet spot.
Yeah, I think only registered brands get that perk. I don't think the rest of us do.
I swear, every time I look at dashboards, they switch things up. I'm telling you, every freaking time I go in, on a weekly basis, they are updating the dashboard. So if you go in, you're like, oh, this is a new button or a new thing, or where did this move? Yeah, they do that. And they don't tell you anything going on, which is irritating. Very irritating. Because they tell us all these weird updates like, have your inventory in by the 19th, but not, hey, we've added new buttons.
Yeah, so since you guys, April does have, I was about to say, if you guys have any questions, ask. Otherwise, we will be ending the show here in just a couple of minutes. And April says, if a food item isn't asking for an expired date, do you guys still put it? I don't if it's not asking for it, but sometimes I will on my FNSKU label, sending it into Amazon just because it is a food item.
I add it because if Amazon later decides, like, say Tina makes a listing and she makes a listing for a candy bar and she doesn't put an expiration date and she says, like, it doesn't need an expiration date. Amazon will re-look at things and be like, oh, wait, no, this is a food item. We're going to add an expiration date requirement. And then if you've already sent your stuff in, they'll be like, hey, April, you need to add an expiration date to your item. We're going to send you all your stuff back so you can date mark it and then send it back in.
But you can print it out through, if you're using Inventory Lab and you input your expiration date there, it will print it out on your sticker. Anything like food, I definitely make sure it's on there. And if I don't print it out on my sticker, I make sure that in this case, that's how I would do it because it's not on the item. But if it's super big on your item and you can see it plain as day, I don't worry about it necessarily being on the FNSKU. But
yeah, they will recap if it's in the food category. If it's in grocery, they will circle around and make it required a date, an expiration date. So it's better to put it on there. The other thing that I notice with private label people is sometimes they'll try to skirt gating. And they'll, like I had a lady who was selling scrunchies, and scrunchies can go under beauty or scrunchies can go under clothing. And so she did clothing. Amazon recategorized it to beauty, and they will do that if it's not in the right category. And sometimes they're really good at what they're picking. And sometimes it's like, no, what are you doing? No, that's not the right category.
Yeah, April, I forget about you not having Inventory Lab in Canada. So yes, with your Dymo, you can make your own custom label. I would just whip out a few of those and just put that expiration date on there. All right, everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to continue on with getting a little deeper into pay-per-click, or if this was just what you needed. I'm excited to know if you guys try advertising yourselves and how well you do with it at the end of the month. I really want to know. I love hearing success stories. So
just I'm going to see if that's the same April that we were questioning earlier. If I can navigate. Navigation. It was you. Yeah. So I asked earlier, April, that you missed. We don't have enough information, but go back and watch the beginning of this video, and we were addressing your question that you had in the group. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Weekend, guys. Thanks.